Let's graph a line from point slope formula, or point slope form. Okay, sometimes we're used to graphing when our equation's in slope-intercept, which is y equals mx plus b. If we tried to put this in slope-intercept form, okay, you would have to distribute the 2/3, which you could, and then add the 4. Now right away you may notice something. When we go ahead and we go to add our 4 to 4/3, we are going to end up with a fraction for a y-intercept. So right off the bat, nope, I do not want to graph using slope-intercept form because it's not going to be exact. Okay, so we can actually use the form this is given in right away, which is point slope. So point slope is y minus y1 equals m parentheses x minus x1. And it gives you exactly what it says. It gives you a coordinate point and it gives you the slope. So slope, again, like we've said before, is always represented by m. Okay, so that means my slope is 2/3. It's always the number outside this quantity. So a coordinate point is just any point on the graph. And that has to do with the x1 and the y1, because this is one point on the graph and there's an infinite number of points on a line. So because of my formula, and it has minus signs, I'm looking at this number here and I'm looking at this number here. Okay, now it's y minus 4 and x plus 2. One thing you'll notice because of the minus signs is that it's not the exact number that we see here. We always take the opposite value. So the coordinate point, and again, we always have an x and a y. Okay, x goes first. If I see a positive 2, that means that the coordinate point is really negative 2, because in my formula, it's x minus my x value. Okay, so it has to be a negative in order for me to get x plus 2 in the formula. Okay, again, same thing with my y. If I see a negative 4 here, that means that my y value is a positive 4, because according to my formula, it's y minus 4. And then my slope on the outside. Okay, so again, I can just look at this and I'm taking the opposite value that's next to the x to get my x coordinate, the opposite value that I see here, so I see negative 4, so it's a positive 4. This gives me my coordinate point and my slope is out here. So I always have to graph a point first. So I'm going to graph my point of negative 2, positive 4, so I go left 2 and up 4. And from this point, I'm going to use my slope. So I could go up 2 and 3 to the right, or I could also go down 2 and 3 to the left. Okay, and then I know I'm going to use my line tool to connect, and I make sure whenever I have a line that I have arrows on the end. Let's go ahead and let's do one more example. Okay, so this is my formula in point slope. So again, the first thing I'm going to do is identify my slope and my coordinate point. Okay, my slope is my m, which is the number outside the quantity. So my slope is 3/5. And my x and y value have to do with the numbers I see in here and here. So again, I see a positive 3, which means my x coordinate is going to be a negative 3. I see a positive 1, so my y value is going to be a negative 1. So now I have enough to graph my line, so I'm going to go and plot negative 3, negative 1, and then I'm going to use my slope. So I'm rising 3, 1, 2, 3, and running 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, and that is enough to graph my entire line.